Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us. K&A Custom Crafts on Facebook.
Well, hello, and welcome to Wednesday night Sports Minute. Sorry in advance for the technical difficulties we're having. Ace is trying to hook up tonight.
Yep.
I will host a little bit until Ace gets on. My name's Big B. We got J-Mac. How you doing, bud?
Well, I'm not doing too bad. Sitting up here, hotel. I got an appointment tomorrow. On some unfortunate news, unfortunately, today. Want to send the show out to my aunt, and she's kind of going through some stuff right now, so let's keep her in our thoughts, please.
Yes, we can definitely do that. And we're joined by our backstage guy, Chris. Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How's everybody doing tonight?
Hey, doing great. So typically we start off with some top list. This round we're doing top 5, but I think we're going to skip that tonight just in case everybody starts going off the air. So we'll talk about the big news. Tampa Bay Lightning are repeating. They won it 4-1 to the series. Final score I think was 1-0. I did not see the final.
It was.
So,
yep.
Wow.
So Chris, how about you go first with that? You almost had your sweep. What do you think?
I almost. I kind of figured Tampa Bay was going to win this year, but I mean anything can happen in sports, so it could have went Montreal's way, but I mean,
no, it couldn't.
Well, I'm saying throughout the season, but we all knew now that it wasn't possible. But congratulations to Tampa Bay and their repeat back-to-back Stanley Cup Finals champions. They won it in front of their home fans, so first team to do that I know of, at least in professional sports.
J-Mac, your thoughts?
It's kind of like why I like the NHL for the playoffs. Like anything can happen. It is so back and forth. It's a huge back and forth game. It's kind of like soccer. They're the two best to really watch as far as the action goes, in my opinion. You got all the back and forth, and you don't really have one team possessing the ball for 20 to 30 minutes at a time, where you're watching one team with the puck or the ball, if you will, with possession. Let's say that, and that's why hockey's so great. And congratulations, hats off to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Repeating in any sport is not easy, no matter what sport it is. So, I mean, hats off to them on a great season, cap it off. Let's see if they can repeat next year. Let's see what happens next year.
Yeah, exactly. Jump to mind. I think Detroit's the last team to repeat, I think. So I could be wrong on that, but that's the first team that comes to mind for me. But again, hats off to Tampa Bay. They had a heck of a season. Kind of thought it was wrong for the governor, I think it was, to come out and want them to blow game 4 just to bring it back home.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their things. Everybody's got their wishes. So.
And I think, too, that Tampa Bay kind of showed that last year because it was in a bubble environment. It wasn't a fluke that they won.
Yeah.
So
a couple quick messages here. Christina Wilson says, hi, guys. She's also praying for J-Mac's aunt. Thank you. Our man Justin, Tampa Bay is Titletown. Yeah, I mean, no arguments there. Christina, again, says NHL season is now over. Wow. Yeah, it kind of went by quick, I think. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I didn't follow too much hockey, but been busy, so.
Yeah, it's been quick. Kind of quick to follow. I mean,
since the restart, I think it's been quick, but I think it took long overall. I mean, for the whole season with COVID. And all of it. So since the restart after COVID, I think it went really, really quick. It's kind of crazy that it's over already.
Yeah. And then Justin also pipes in and says Penguins repeated. Okay. I didn't forget about them if they did it.
Teams repeated.
The Pens did repeat. Yes, they did.
Okay. Yeah. So with that, how about a little NBA or WNBA, guys? So I think the games went final. I don't have the latest scores, but
I can get
uh,
on.
Dallas versus Dallas versus Minnesota. Minnesota won 85-79. Phoenix and Las Vegas were battling. It was a close one last time I saw. And then we also had the Sparks versus the Storm, and that was, I think Storm was running away with that one a little bit. So,
Of course they were.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was a given.
Yeah, so the current standings I have in the East is the Suns 12-6. They're on a one-game losing streak. Of course, they probably won today, so that could probably change. Then they're 6-4 in their last 10. You got Chicago Sky 10-9 on a one-game losing streak, but 8-2 in their last 10. The Liberty 10-9, so they're tied. Two-game winning streak, 5-5 their last 10. The Dream 6-11, two-game losing streak. They're 2-8 in their last 10. Our beloved Fever, we are 2-16, but they're on a one-game winning streak. But they're 1-9 in their last 10. We got Adams.
They won. They won for the first time in 13 games.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
wow!
so like the D-backs there. So out in the West, we have Adams Aces, 14-4. They just jumped first place, 4-game winning streak, 9-1 in their
Well,
last
I
game.
got 14-5.
Okay, so they must have lost then today. Okay.
I think so.
All right. So then the Storm are 14-4 on a two-game winning streak, unless that game was final today.
Yeah,
They should be 15-4.
they are. That's
Okay,
what I got.
So Storm's back on top. All right. So then the Lynx are in third place, 10-7 on a 5-game winning streak and 7-2. The Wings are 9-11 on a 2-game losing streak, 6-4 in their last 10. Mercury 7-9, 2-game losing streak, 4-6 in their last 10. And finally the Sparks, 6-11, 4-game losing streak, 2-8 in their last 10. So, J-Mac, I know you're a Storms fan, but what do you think so far?
I thought we were going to run away with it again this year in the West, and I got to say, I'm pretty impressed by the Aces and how well they played. And so, hats off to them. They've given us a great run. They were in first place for half a day or something, which, congratulations to them because they knocked out the Storm for a half a day, which doesn't normally happen in the West. But I think that, and Christy Wilson brings up a good point. Phoenix working their way up. That's a team that I could see. I mean, wouldn't it be awesome if Phoenix, both Phoenix teams ended up in the NBA Finals and the WNBA Finals?
And they both won. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be awful hard for Phoenix to do that in the WNBA because of that Western Conference. But even the Dallas
playoffs, I mean,
the Dallas Wings did a lot in that draft. They, as we saw when we looked at our live coverage, I mean, they had 3 of the first 7 picks in the draft, and they've done well with it. So they're on their way up too. Let's not count them out.
Yeah.
But the West is definitely an issue.
What about you, Chris? I know you're a Dallas guy. What do you see so far?
I mean, it's gonna take a while to climb back. I mean, there's still, let's see, there's probably half the games or less than half to go before the season ends. They only play 32 games, so there's not a lot of room for error, but I think they can bounce back.
Okay, yeah, and my Lynx, I mean, they're looking good. I didn't think they had much of a chance this year, but they're putting it together. They got a 5-game winning streak right now, so
I think
once you get into the playoffs, I mean, anything can happen. So,
well, all I was going to say, Brandon, is I think it's much easier to run through the East than it will be through the West.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think any team in the East other than the Indiana Fever really have a shot at making the finals.
Oh yeah, you're exactly right. So, a couple more comments here. So talk about NBA here. Justin thinks the Suns are a fraud because they beat up on injured teams. Well, you got to play who you're playing, and they might have beat up on injured teams, but can't knock them. And then Christine is saying that the last time one city had 2 basketball teams win the finals was 2003, 2002, Lakers and Sparks. So, yeah.
Um, by the way, real quick, Brandon, I want to hit Justin's comment about asking me if I think England
Yep.
wins the World Cup.
Yep, that was going to be my next topic here after we got done there. So let's go for it.
I'll tell you what, Justin. I can pick up what you're putting down. I think England's got a good shot. Do I think that they bring it all the way home? I'm not sure. I think you got a lot of good teams in the Euro Cup. I think there's a lot of good teams. I mean, Barcelona's always a hard team. Always, they're always a hard team to beat. You got Portugal. You're going to have all these teams that are going to be hard to beat anyway. Bayern Munich, that's always a hard team. I can go on and on. The list goes on about the tough teams that you have. And so England probably just has as good a shot as anyone else does. But definitely they got a chance. But is it like a foregone conclusion, an open and shut door like the NL Cy Young Award is? No. Not at all.
Yeah. Yeah, J-Mac, you follow soccer more than I do. I'll catch it here when the Olympics start up. So, but is it a lock?
Yeah.
I mean, you're the guy. So if you say it's not a lock, then I agree with you. So,
no, and I know you kind of mentioned it a minute ago, Big B, but I heard on, I think it was the evening news or something, that Bruce Springsteen's daughter is going to be in the Olympics doing the equestria, the horse racing or horse part. I don't know. But yeah.
Oh. All right. So Justin chiming in, England versus Italy in the finals on Sunday. Okay.
And he's correct. So let me correct myself in that I went into the Champions League and I got ahead of myself.
Oh, okay.
So the teams that we're talking about are in the Champions League, and that's always hard to win. He's right that England and Italy go for the finals of the Euro Cup. In that match right there on the pitch, in that one, I am going to take England. I will say that England wins it 2-1.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I'll go. Just to throw out a score there, I'll go 1-0. I think it'll be a shutout. I'll go England. Chris.
I'll go 1-0. I was going to say it's going to be some kind of, extra play or a shootout, but I'm going to go 1-0.
Are you going England or England?
England.
All right, Justin, shoot out your score there. Let's see what you're thinking. We know you're going England, so. And then Isaiah said he likes my new backdrop. Yeah, I got a couple of them. We'll be switching it up here and there. So.
Thank you, Chris.
Christina said 2-0 England.
Yep.
So.
Let's. What do you think of Messi? You think Messi finally wins for his country in the? Ooh, that's tough. And he says England 1-0 as well.
Yeah.
Man, it's so.
How much has Messi won? I mean, he's like the biggest name, but it doesn't seem like he's won much.
In the Champions League, he's won a lot. So
okay.
I mean, in the Champions League, he's definitely he's won a lot, and in international play, he's definitely won a few games. But yeah, in the Euro Cup, he just it never happens for him, and I don't understand why.
Okay.
So maybe it finally does. Maybe it finally does. Maybe he finally gets there.
Gotcha.
Just to take off on English Premier League for a minute, you got Manchester United, Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal. The list goes on. All those teams are really, really good. So English Premier League is, to me, and we think that sports stars make a lot of money in America. I'm here to tell you that there's sports stars in the world that make a lot of money. A lot. Do you know that the top 5 franchises in the world are all in the English Premier League for soccer?
That I did not know.
Yes. Okay. They are worth more than any American football franchise. Number 6 on the list is the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys are worth, it's like $2.7 billion. And they're the number 1 team. They're the number 1 team in America. But there's 5 football clubs that are above them in the English Premier League. So J-Mac Messi will be versing Brazil on Saturday for the final. Yes, I know that. And I do think that he wins for his country. We will see. Soccer is huge in Europe. Soccer players get treated like rock stars. Oh my God, it's amazing. I will tell you, I went to England as an exchange student in my junior year of high school in 2002.
Oh, really? Okay.
During the World Cup. Oh man, I mean, they let anyone in the pub. By the way, you could be as shorter than a bar stool, and if you want to come in and watch the football match that's going on, they allow you in there.
Nice.
They might serve
Wow.
you might not get to drink, but they'll let you come in there and watch the game. And it's insane. I mean, it's so intense. That's where I caught the fever for soccer, actually.
Okay.
Because it's like you watch that or you watch nothing. Because God forbid you walk in there and say, I don't want to watch this shit. Can you turn on something else? Guess
You're
what?
probably
That's not
pounded.
happening over there. That is not happening.
Yep,
They-
they'll be going, no.
No, you're watching it. And that's when you caught the fever. I mean, I was over there. That's when America made it to the top four. They were in the semifinal against England. And it was England, the United States, Brazil, and Germany in the final four. And we all know Brazil won that one in. But it was tough. That was such a tough game. And so when I'm an American over there in England, rooting against England, you can imagine how that went.
Okay.
Not too well.
All right. How about we touch on a little baseball there, guys? I mean, doesn't seem like Ace is going to be joining us tonight. So some scores that jump out at me. Of course, my Twins lose. They keep losing 6-1 today. The Yankees and Mariners, top of 8, 5-4. You got the Nationals and the Padres, 10-2. Nationals, top of 6, which is kind of shocking there. The Rays beat the Indians in a 7-inning doubleheader, 8-1. J-Max Braves, 14-3 over the Pirates.
That's because we were pissed off because we lost twice to the Pirates.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, doubleheader, yeah.
The Mets in 8 innings must have been another doubleheader. 4-3, game 1. The Rays and Indians. The second game was a shutout, 4-0. Let's see here. Marlins beat the Dodgers 9-6. And then the Mets and Brewers. Mets took game 2, 5-0. And is there games going on? Diamondbacks and the Rockies, top of 9, 6-4 right now. So,
Who's winning?
Diamondbacks.
Holy crap.
Wow. Look at who they're playing, though. I mean, it's two teams that, could combine together still but not make a good team.
No.
Giants and the Cardinals, bottom of 8, 5-2. So anything stick out there? We got the All-Star game coming up. What do you guys think about that, or the scores today, or?
I could say that a lot of people, again, rooting for them. I'm repping them right now. So, anyway, Ronald Acuna Jr. came out and said that he's not participating in the home run derby, even though he got named to the All-Star game. And I'm okay with it. I know that a lot of fans would be like, I want to watch my guy hit some home runs out of Coors Field, and who wouldn't, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
But I think that it's a good thing. I think it's okay. I think to me, we know he can hit home runs, and so I get that that's the excitement of all of it. But I'm kind of one of those guys that wants to watch those guys that are middle of the road. Guys that have 15, 16 homers right now that can hit homers, but you're not sure how many they can hit. We bring those guys in and let them square it off in the home run derby. I think it's a little more exciting,
Yeah, exactly.
That's probably why Joey Gallo was added, because he was added this afternoon to the list for the home run derby.
Yeah,
So, Chris,
it looks like they got the bracket out here, and the first round will be Ohtani versus Soto from the Washington. It'll be Perez versus Alonso. And then on the other side of the bracket, you got Gallo versus Story, Olsen versus Manchi from Baltimore. So sorry if I butchered those names. So, I mean, the only guy in there that's really I want to see is Ohtani. I mean, the other guys I don't, I mean, it'll be nice to see them, but to me, Ohtani's going to win it.
Yeah, I completely agree. Ohtani's doing things we haven't seen since Babe Ruth. Well, none of us have ever seen it. Let's be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably nobody watching this show has ever seen it either.
Yeah, what about you, Chris? What do you think?
I would agree Ohtani is probably the main guy, to see. And he's probably going to make it to the next round. I'm not sure if he'll make it to the final round of the matchups, but he's probably 1-2 seed, the one player 2 seed.
Okay.
So he's Justin's down here talking about Roger Federer, and we'll get to that in a minute.
Yep.
But
Exactly.
I got to ask you a question, Chris. How
Yeah.
mad would you be? I saw, like a hypothetical trade today
Mm-hmm.
that sends a couple of players from the Braves to the Rangers for Gallup.
Oh.
Now, to be honest, in Atlanta, I don't think hitting is our problem. I think that our
Right.
bullpen is our problem. We need bullpen pitchers.
What,
I
you
mean-
don't like Wilson, or you don't like Smith?
Don't get me started.
Joey Gallo's been hitting his stride the last few weeks, or at least the last few games. So, I mean, if he did go to Atlanta, it would. I mean, I agree they don't really need help in that area, but I mean, he'll give a little improvement, at least in the hitting.
So do you guys
I'd
think
be disappointed, but
you guys think the big names will start big trades will start happening after the All-Star break, or
Yeah, I
closer to
think,
August?
I think by July 15th, you'll see a big trade. I think you'll see a big
Okay.
name trade. Yep.
Yeah, 'cause
I
I know
think
the
after
Twins.
the draft.
Yeah, I think the Twins are linked to a couple moves with the Mets actually. Donaldson and they're looking at Barrios. So
Who cares? They can have Donaldson. Donaldson.
Because the draft is the same week as the All-Star.
yeah,
I mean, Donaldson had a great year when he's in Atlanta. I'm not going to deny that, but the guy is kind of a dick, to be honest. Like he doesn't bring a lot to the clubhouse. Veteran leadership. It's like, I know how to play the game. I'm not going to show these younger guys how to play. That's not my thing.
Well, so yesterday on deck, Justin brought up a good trade, well, a hypothetical trade. What about Boston going after Chris Bryant? What do you guys think?
I don't know. I could see it. I could see it for sure.
Yeah.
Right? That they got enough pieces to get him there. I agree with Isaiah. We need to go back and get Craig Kimbrell. Sure. We that might happen. But you're talking about Bryant going. Bryant probably will have his pick of what team he wants to go to. It's just going to depend on what the front office wants as far as pieces back, I think.
Well, exactly. Are the Cubs going to blow it up or not? I mean, there were some names thrown out last night on deck of pretty much destroying the Cubs, but we'll see. I mean, we got a couple weeks left until people need to really make moves and stuff. So we'll see where it goes. I know a lot of rumors are going to start flying. So back to Wimbledon, I guess. Justin's comment up there. He lost today or yesterday in Wimbledon, I think it was, an upset. And then Justin said that he may lose in the U.S. Open and he should retire. J-Mac, I know you follow tennis a little bit more than I do, so we'll let you have the floor on this one.
I think you got to go out on top. That's just how I've always felt about it. We've talked about the athletes that held on too long.
Yep.
Federer, I think will compete in the U.S. Open. I think if he finishes top 5 or 6 in the U.S. Open, he'll probably walk away because that's kind of walking away on top. Not champion, but still in the top 5 or 6. And
Okay.
I think if he gets bounced in the first round, he's still going to come back and try to find a way he can go out on top, per se. You got to go out on your own merit. And I think Federer's past his prime. I don't know that he can win a major championship anymore. But I think he'll try, and I think he'll compete to do that. Try to go.
Well, yeah, you're always going to try to compete. And like you said, you want to go out on a semi on top. I mean, we can't all be Jerome Bettis where you get to win the title. And I think Elway did too. I think he went out on after he won the second Super Bowl. So,
Well, I mean, for
yeah,
like
go ahead,
tennis.
Chris.
Oh, I'm sorry. For like tennis, can't you pick and choose like which event you want to do?
You can.
Yeah.
But there are the things that people don't know behind tennis. And actually, I didn't know that much about tennis. I remember watching Andre Agassi and Pete Sampras compete back in the day. Andre Agassi was a commercial back in the 90s of Images Everything, and no one will forget that.
Oh, yeah.
But I read his book, Open, and I learned a lot about tennis that I didn't know. And you can pick and choose which championships you want to be in, what events you want to play in, but there are rules and fines and all of that go along with that too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I mean, you can say I don't want to compete in U.S. Open, but because you were already bracketed in per se to the first round against this player, and they have to go back and re-scramble it and put someone else in there. Like any seats that were sold, say, with your name on them, per se, that they thought, oh, you're going to sell tickets just because this guy's competing in this round, you have to come up with the difference. Like, you're expected to pay that back into the tournament.
Ah, gotcha, okay.
So sitting out a tournament, that's why guys play when they're hurt, or hurt is different, but if you decide to sit out for personal reasons or whatever, that's when it all occurs. And I think that, so it really depends on, are you willing to take that fight? Are you willing to take that, how much different it's going to be if you're not there?
Well, I guess it depends too on how much the prize money is that you already won, and if you can afford to take that fine.
I don't think we have anything to worry about with Roger Federer. I think.
Yeah, exactly. So James is chiming in saying, "Hi guys." Christine is asking, "Do we think Serena Williams will retire if she doesn't win the U.S. Open?" There's another one that, does she want to go out on top? J-Mac, what you think?
Will she retire if she doesn't win the U.S. Open? Oh man, that's hard. I think Serena Williams is done with tennis after 2021. I do think that.
Okay.
Will it be the U.S. Open? I don't know. Could it be the Australian Open when you go to the clay? That could be.
Okay.
Sure.
Gotcha. I'm with J-Mac. I think 2021 is, we might see a couple of tennis stars fall and retire. I mean, we're talking about Federer, we're talking about Williams. I mean,
and you remember, this happened like 50, maybe closer to 20 years ago, right around the start of the new millennium, when you had Pete Sampras retire, you had Andre Agassi retire, Steffi Graf on it, Portakova. We hadn't seen Martina Navratilova in years. Jennifer Capriati was big back then.
Yep.
I can throw out a bunch of names if you want, but those guys, those are the guys.
They came into almost the same time too, I think.
Right, they all came in at the same time, and then this new generation came in. Serena Williams, Venus Williams. Justin's talking about Novak Djokovic.
Yeah,
you have Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal. All these guys came in at the same time. Andy Murray was one that comes to mind. Like all these guys, Andy Roddick as well. So those guys all came in at the same time, and so they're all kind of moving on. And it's going to be the younger generation. And for women, that's definitely going to be. Why can't her name's slipping my mind right now?
Yeah, I know you're thinking of the one that doesn't want to talk to media.
Yeah, Naomi. I know her first name's Naomi.
Yeah, but what do you think of Justice's comment? Novak, does he get a chance to win the Grand Slam?
I think he does. I think he does. Osaka, thank you, Justin. Yes, Naomi Osaka.
And Christina chimed in with the same one too. So
yes, and that's who I'm talking about. I think she takes over women's tennis. To be honest, I think she's the next big thing.
Yeah, she could be like when she returns and whenever she wants to, she'll probably be the next face of women's tennis, maybe.
Yeah. And I think Justin had a comment yesterday or another show I was on. Serena Williams, Tiger Woods has won a major in golf before Serena Williams has won one, so more recent, I guess. So we know Tiger's little struggles. So
there's a little known player out there. He's 15 years old, looking to go pro. I forget 15. The last name. 15, looking to go pro. I forget their first name. I will admit that. I don't remember the first name. Their last name is hyphenated. That last name is Agassi Graf.
Oh.
I've heard that name, yeah.
It is their oldest child, and I believe he's 15. He's looking to go pro. Could be the next name. Imagine that player coming in. Like how much pressure that's got to be their son.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of.
Oh yeah. I mean, to be any superstar's son and to have two parents, try to live up to their legacy. But yeah, that'll be pretty interesting. But just imagine being 15 or 16 or whatever, still in high school or going into high school, and you're going to be a pro tennis player, golf, or whatever. I mean, man, I never thought of that back when I was in school, at least. How about you guys?
Oh, I mean, of course you have
I
dreams.
couldn't either.
Oh,
You have dreams of, I wish I could go pro at something.
Oh, yeah.
We all have those dreams, but it was man, as weird as this is going to sound, because it's not really a movie you think you get a lot of inspiration from, but I took a lot of inspiration from the movie Varsity Blues, and really only one scene, and let me just explain why. It's when James Vanderbeek comes out there. Dawson Hellas will always be known, I understand.
Yep.
But when he comes in there and he says, when coach said to play the next 48 minutes for the next 48 years, forget that. Go out there and play the next 48 minutes for the next 48 minutes.
Yep.
I believe it's 24 minutes for the next 24 minutes.
Yeah, because they just came all back from halftime, right?
Yeah, just halftime.
Yeah.
Go out there and play the next 24 minutes for the next 24 minutes. And I'm sorry, but that's just like live in the moment, because you look at it and there's, and these numbers are going to be probably a little off, but there's 16,000 top high schools in America. There's 122 Division I colleges that have a football program. So think about your percentages there of how many students from high school already go to Division I. Okay.
Yep.
And then you got 122 Division I schools that each have 75 to 80 players. And then there's 32 NFL teams that each have, what do they keep? 52 players on each team. So your chance to go from high school to the NFL, it's like 0.8% of all high school football athletes ever make it. So just play in the moment and enjoy what you're doing while you're doing it. That's what I would say.
That's in all sports. In everything. Just enjoy the moment, and if you get there, you get there. Great. It's not.
But I will tell you guys that I have a buddy of mine who is a coach for the flag football league out here on the West Coast, and
Wait, did you say flag football league?
Flag football league, yeah, it's the Pacific Flag Football League. His name is Nick Davis. He's a really good guy. He's a good coach too. I know him and then Coach Lyle, who I've played some softball with, and he's now the hitting instructor at Boise State for softball.
Nice.
And both of them have a thing that they tell their kids when they're coming out of high school. They'll say, yes, a lot of kids will sit there and tell you, a D1 scholarship changes my life. But their philosophy is a D1 scholarship changes your life, a D2, a D3, an NAIA, JUCO scholarship, any college scholarship in sports is going to be a life-changing scholarship for you.
Yeah.
So if you get an opportunity to play at the next level, no matter the level it is, do it.
Yep, exactly.
If the opportunity presents itself, take it.
Take it.
Because don't sit on it. Take it.
That's something you never forget. If you can sit there and say, I went to college to play volleyball, I went to college to play basketball, to play softball. Well, where'd you play? Oh, I played at Corbin University in Salem, Oregon. You know how cool that's going to be to a lot of people, the fact that you even got to go to a university to play a sport.
Yeah.
No matter what the university is. Of course, everyone loves to hear that you went to the University of Texas to play sports. That is what it is. But the fact that you got to go to any university, got a scholarship, it changes your life. It's just a life-changing event. So don't sit down and say, I'm going it's D1 or bust.
Yeah. Yeah, like Chris said and you said, both. If you get a chance to play, go play. So a couple more comments rolling in here. Justice saying Tiger Woods' son will be good. Yeah, the few videos I've seen of him already, he's already a better golfer than I'll ever be. and I think he's only 10 or 11.
right?
Does Rogers play in the Olympics?
No.
Yeah, I think he's going to sit out. J-Mac, talking about golf, did you see Tom Brady and Rogers' golf match today? No,
Yep.
I forgot it was actually on.
I did too. I didn't see it.
Okay.
And all I can say is that's why they play football. So
So
All right.
it wasn't that much fun.
Who ended up winning?
I don't know. I didn't
Oh,
watch the
okay.
whole thing. All I'm saying, I did not.
Gotcha. Does McGregor win his fight on Saturday? I
No.
don't know who he's fighting, but I would guess he does. I mean,
Probably.
yeah.
I don't think so.
Oh, Rogers' team won. Okay. And then Justin's chiming in saying Penn State's the best school.
That's debatable.
Yeah. Everybody's got their, top schools. I mean, so J-Mac, do you got your spotlight player handy today, or?
I actually don't. I didn't have time
Okay.
to look. I apologize.
No, that's okay. I know
Actually,
we're kind of going off script.
Yeah, it's really at that time where we got to start wrapping it up because even though it's not an hour, we're still at like the 10 o'clock time. And
Yeah, no problem. So J-Mac, yeah, we can wrap it up. I know. Again, sorry for Ace not being here. He was having some technical difficulties. So, Chris, why don't you go ahead and give us the last 30 seconds of today?
All right. Thank you guys for watching, interacting, tuning in. Tomorrow we have Smells Like Hope and I forgot what we have a couple shows lined up tomorrow. So
Smell Like Hope and Speak Out.
Speak
I
Out,
believe
yeah.
is the other one.
And I think also in there is GMs for Hire. So
Yeah,
Yes.
Jim Schreier. Can't forget about them. J-Mac, how about you there, bud?
Yep, just like Chris said, watch the shows tomorrow. Friday, we have Roundtable and Four Bros Radio Show, and we'll be back on Saturday with a brand new Sports Minute episode.
Yeah. So, Chris, if I don't mind, can you let me have full screen for a second here, please?
yes.
25 years ago today, I'm a big wrestling fan, and I know some of you guys are out there. This group right here, the NWO, changed what wrestling is. Let me blow it up here. Hogan made the biggest heel turn ever, I think, in wrestling. So just want to give them a shout out. NWO for life. I know J-Mac probably knows a little bit about it. He said he's old school. So, but that's my 30 seconds. Thank you, NWO.
And the original NWO, the best NWO that there was.
Yes, exactly. And the only three that I'd throw Eric Bischoff in there. He probably should have been a part of the induction to them guys being in the Hall of Fame. So, but yeah, Chris, you can take me off big screen there. Thank you. So, Chrissy even agrees, made huge impact. So, with that being said, J-Mac, I hope everything's going good with your aunt. Keep us posted. Chris, thank you for jumping on. I'm Big B, and this is Wednesday Sports Minute. Check us out next week and check out all the great shows we have lined up this week. For that being said, have a good night, guys.